After an 11-5 season, their best since 1994, the Cleveland Browns are the team that everyone is talking about heading into the 2021 NFL football season. Browns general manager Andrew Berry continues to have success building this Cleveland roster. In real life, the Browns nailed the most recent free agency period in the NFL draft, setting them up as legitimate contenders in 2021. In this series, we look to recreate some of that magic that has been the 2021 offseason and beyond for the Browns, and let's see if this team can live up to the hype and the growing expectations and build off of the momentum that they had from last year. I'm Kimbrough Plays. Welcome to our Cleveland Browns franchise here in Madden 21. Let's go. What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you being here and rocking with me. If you're new here, I'm Kimbrough Plays. I'm a Twitch streamer and YouTube creator over here, and I'm super excited to dive back in to some football content in my life. Let me tell y'all. I started on Twitch as a Fortnite streamer and Madden streamer, and didn't really like where Madden 21 was headed. I'm a big franchise guy. I grew up playing all of the sports games, the NCAA football 14s, the dynasty modes. I love putting rosters together. I love building teams. And when Madden 21 came out, I was in the middle of upgrading to a gaming PC, and the franchise mode updates were not very good. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to hold off. And then 6-7 months after the game got released, maybe a little longer than that, almost 8 months after the game got released, I got it for super cheap. And you know what? I said, getting ready for Madden 22 and NCAA football 2023. Let's just go ahead and get some content out there. I'm excited about where my Browns are. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge Browns fan. I'm out of Columbus, Ohio, just a couple hours south of Cleveland. And I just really wanted to get my stuff going as we get ready to have more and more football content. High hopes for Madden 22, and I'm super excited to get this going. So yeah, as I mentioned in the intro, really we're just taking a look at seeing if we can handle what Andrew Berry and the Browns staff had to handle in their offseason. Can we build this roster and get it ready for the 2021 season and all of the expectations? That's where we're at. As you guys can see here, Madden jumps you in right at the end of the 2020 football season, right before Super Bowl week. Let's see what happens in this Chiefs and Tampa Bay Bucks game. Let's see what the final score was. Look at this, 35-26. The Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady get it done. Taking a look at the 2020 season recap. Brady was Super Bowl MVP. He's just an animal. As an Ohio State fan and alum, it breaks my heart every time. He's the GOAT. I won't even argue it, but man, could it have just been somebody from anywhere other than Michigan? Just one time for me, please, please. Josh Allen takes home MVP, weirdly enough. Steals it from Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, there's our 2020 season recap. I'm super excited. If you guys don't know much about the Browns, if you haven't been following, they've been sort of the NFL sweetheart. We'll take a quick look at the roster here as we get ourselves level set for the 2021 season. The offensive line was really the strength. Jedrick Wills Jr. coming in, had a stellar rookie season, really held it down and solidified the left tackle spot for Cleveland. Batonio, Treader, and Teller were amazing on the inside, especially Teller coming out of nowhere. Nobody had him on his radar. On their radars, and he was great. And Jack Conklin came in and really took over that right side as a big free agent signing coming in off of last season. It is coming up on his 6th year out of Michigan State. Jack's a big body and does a great job on the right side. Hooper, Njoku, and Bryant, solid tight end trio. Really, really looking good over there at tight end. Don't really need to address that part of the roster. Jarvis is the heart and soul of the team. Wide receiver 2. Obviously, everybody knows about OBJ. Superstar in Madden 21. A stud, but we don't know what we're going to get out of OBJ as we come out of his ACL injury. Coming off the injury, he's getting older. As I go back and look, he's already 28. So we'll just see how his body recovers, and we'll kind of go from there. But high hopes for the Browns offense this year. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Probably the best duo in all of football in the backfield for the Browns. So really, really solid at running back. Great pedigree of running backs coming out of Cleveland, dating back to Jim Brown and all of the other legends that have kind of put on the brown and orange. But here we are, Baker Mayfield. The story of the Browns always starts and ends with the quarterback play, or the lack thereof. Baker, 84 overall, 95 throw power, the number 9 ranked quarterback at the end of the season in Madden 21. So really interested to see if we can continue to build Baker up. Only 26, still a lot of juice left in Baker's arm. See what we can do to keep him going and keep skill players around him. Linebacker, big area of concern right here. Got some young guys, Jacob Phillips, Sione Takitaki, Mac Wilson on the outsides, but you really got to lock down this middle, this second level of the defense. BJ Goodson, decent year last year, graded out okay in Pro Football Focus, but really not the long-term solution. And you'd like to see one of these guys, Wilson, Phillips, Takitaki, kind of take that next step. Can somebody really break away from the pack as far as the young linebackers are concerned and really make a name for themselves? We'll just have to see. Grant Delpit, hoping for big things, missed his entire rookie year with an injury. I believe he blew out his Achilles. So coming back as a star development, 72 overall, going to be in his first full season, real snaps at all. Didn't play any snaps at all. Ronnie Harrison was kind of the stud, took over in the secondary. Really bright future for Ronnie, only 24, I believe, out of Alabama. So we'll see if Ronnie can kind of be the guy at strong safety and really bring Grant Delpit under his wing and get him going. That'd be awesome because Grant would be having Grant come out strong in his first full season of actual play would be amazing and really, really helpful for this Browns secondary. Denzel Ward, stud, Buckeye. Not much more you can say about him. He's so solid, locks down pretty much everything when he's healthy. We'll just see if we can keep him upright. Oh, got to get some depth on the cornerback room. Greedy Williams coming off of missing an entire year as well. Only in his third season, but he's only played one full year. So we really need Greedy to step up and be that number 2 lockdown guy. You know, you got the big diamond earrings, Greedy. You got to make some plays for me, brother. Sheldon and Larry were kind of the interior presence for the Browns in 2020. I would say okay seasons. Nothing too groundbreaking out of either of them, but they were solid at times. Problem is, we really need somebody to help Miles. Porter Gustin, not going to get it done. Olivier Vernon, superstar development in this game, but not necessarily playing like a superstar, coming off injury, getting older. Not really sure if Olivier Vernon's going to be the guy long term. So we got to figure out something long term over here on the left edge, and of course Miles is just a stud. So we just gotta get him some help. In real life, the Browns signed Jadeveon Clowney to bolster the defensive end position and give Miles a little bit of help. I don't think he's going to come available in this particular series. I don't know what we exactly do. I'm going to try to keep this as realistic as possible, stay kind of true to all the contracts, stay true to the trades. I'm not going to be abusing the system. I really like the realistic franchises, and I'm going to do my best to kind of keep that going as far as this group goes for Madden 21. For those of you who didn't follow the way the Browns 2020 season ended, they snuck into the playoffs, winning Week 17 against the Steelers, and then sneaking up in the wild card round and knocking out Pittsburgh 48-37, and then lost in a close one despite Patrick Mahomes having some injuries. The Browns were really in that game, and I think surprised a lot of people with how relevant they were. So, getting their first playoff appearance in forever, and then winning a game in the playoffs against the Steelers, big expectations, and I'm excited to dive into this offseason and see if we can continue that momentum and get the Browns even further in 2021. Let's take a look at some of the players here. We're looking to re-sign Olivier. Wants a 2-year deal, big contract. I know he's a superstar, but I don't know if that's the move for us long term. We're right there. We're competitors. We're contenders, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the guy. Same with Carl Joseph. I really want to get Ronnie Harrison those snaps at safety, so I'll go ahead and withdraw from him. Let's go ahead and try to get Larry O back. I know the Browns let him walk in real life, but I'd like to at least offer him a contract here and see if we can get him on the hook. He's ready to test free agency. He's not interested. Rashard Higgins was a really solid piece for Baker, kind of a security blanket of sorts for Baker Mayfield at a lot of stages. I'm going to do the same here. Try to offer Higgy a little bit of a low ball offer. He's not taking it, so he'll walk. We'll maybe try to look at bringing him back as well. I'm going to let BJ test. I'm going to let Cody test. Malcolm Smith as well. I would like to bring back Porter on a team-friendly deal here. See if we can give him a couple more years, cut his salary down just a little bit. He's not interested. So Porter's going to walk as well. We definitely have to address left end here as we get into this offseason. Vincent Taylor, Kadero's a solid special teamer. Vincent's a rotational tackle. Not really interested in bringing either of them back. Same with Kendall Lamb. I think we can get somebody better for cheaper at tackle in the draft. Tay Davis, Colby, a lot of these guys. I know Michael Dunn is somebody the Browns liked and held on to in real life, but I think we're just going to try to replace some of the back end of the roster here with people throughout the draft and beyond. Olivier, 84 overall. I think we got to let Olivier go. I like him. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy in his time in Cleveland since coming over in that trade, and I gotta start fresh, I feel like. So let's dive into week 1 of free agency here. See who is on the options list for the Browns. We've got about $30 million in cap space. Let's see if we can make any splash signings. Taking a look here at the free agent offers, man, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, Corey Linsley, Buckeye on the list here. Not a lot of people that I thought, like no Jadeveon Clowneys of the world. I like to go through the list this way. Jameis didn't get his contract from the Saints. Colin Kaepernick still out there. Man, tough to see that. If we didn't have a quarterback situation with Baker, I'd probably take a look at Colin, give him a second chance. Wide receiver is interesting to me. I would love a wide receiver 3 that is really a stud. Jarvis kind of plays the slot for Cleveland, and having somebody like a Chris Godwin or an Allen Robinson to help them out, I think could be huge. Same with Kenny Golladay. These guys want big contracts, so it'd be a lot of money invested at the wide receiver position. But after this year, Jarvis and Odell are both sort of free agents. They're going to be able to we're going to be able to get out of their contracts for little to no money. So I'm really curious. Kenny Golladay is a big body. The type of frame the Browns don't really have. Not bad. Wouldn't mind Kenny Golladay. Could turn into a red zone threat for us. Let's go ahead and start with him. Let's give him an offer. Take a look and see what Kenny is interested in. And if not him, we could definitely take a look at Chris Godwin if we're interested. He's just smaller. Kenny fits a bigger profile, a bigger size. Let's see what we can do here. Taking a look at left end here, Olivier is the top player left on the board. It's a pretty friendly contract. He doesn't want anything major, but Derek Wolfe might make a little bit more sense to go opposite just from a cap perspective. Going to come in a lot cheaper, even though he's older, I should say. Same with John Simon. Could get a little bit of support. Like I said, a big problem with having Olivier's, he just was never healthy. So let's see. Let's start with giving Derek Wolfe a really kind of small contract. See if we can get him to bite on something. Maybe he wants to play for a winner as he gets ready to finalize his career. Taking a look at defensive tackle here. The Browns in real life did let Larry O walk, and they did actually bring in Malik Jackson on a really cap-friendly one-year deal. So I'm going to try to replicate the deal that Andrew Berry and the team actually offered. I don't know the statistics, but I know it was pretty fair for the Browns. That's probably a little low, so I'll bump up the salary. But it would be cool to kind of replicate a couple of the moves that the Browns were able to make in the offseason here. I think Malik would probably go after that. Andrew Billings is kind of in the same realm. Probably don't necessarily need him, meaning Malik, but would be cool to see if we could bring in some of the names that the Browns really have. Not a lot of options here at right end. Trey Hendrickson is a kid who could potentially fill in on the opposite side with Miles, but maybe we just look to find somebody in the draft to fill that role as well. I don't really feel like spending a ton of money. On defensive end. Not yet. That Golladay contract is pretty massive, so we'll see what happens with him. Maybe it's something we address in round 2. Taking a look at linebacker here as well. Jayon Brown is somebody we would be interested in as a scheme fit at only 26. Similar, Jordan Hicks and Danny Trevathan are interesting to me, but actually Anthony Walker is somebody the Browns brought in real life, and I would love to sort of recreate, again, another move that the Browns made to see if we can make this team as realistic as possible. I know it's not exactly the most fun way to run the series, but he fits a need. He's a cap-friendly deal. It kind of makes sense why Andrew Berry and the team did what they did in the first place. So, like I said, really would love to see some of these young linebackers you see Phillips and Mack at 22 and 23 respectively. Not worth it to spend some money on one of these guys when some of those guys, Mack and Phillips, could potentially develop. Taking a look here at corner, I'm interested in a cornerback 3 to help out with the back end on Greedy's. You know, if Greedy can't stay healthy, Denzel's usually not healthy. Cornerback 3 might be something we could be really interested in. Somebody like a Patrick Peterson on a 1-year deal is really, really intriguing to me as a scheme fit. Let's go ahead and see if we can offer him something really small. I don't know if he'll take it, but it would be cool to add a veteran like him. We know he's super solid. You would know what you'd get. Maybe we bump it up depending on what happens with Galladay in round 1. Safety room is really strong, or this class, I should say, this free agency class. Anthony Harris is somebody the Browns were linked to for a long time, but I think we're gonna stick with Harrison and Delpit and see if those guys can produce and become, you know, something special, especially since they're younger and they're really, really cheap. Similar with specialists here, I think we're gonna wait a little bit and see if we've got a little bit of money down the line to either draft or pick up somebody. Cody Parkey was a 72. I feel like his number isn't going to be that hard to sort of recreate or get somebody better on a cheap deal. So, okay, let's jump ahead. Let's see if we were able to sign any of these guys in the first round of free agency. And boom, right there, Kenny Galladay accepted our contract. So we finally have a stud at wide receiver 2. Right behind Odell, right in the between Odell and Jarvis. That's a huge signing. Anthony Walker as well signs a deal with us. So we kind of shore up the middle linebacker room a little bit, just like the Browns did in real life. Let's go ahead and take a look who else is in negotiations with us and where some of the other league signings have gone. Patrick Peterson, still no bids on him. Same with Derek Wolfe. Same with Malik Jackson. So I'm going to keep those bids right where they are. See if any of those guys are interested in signing with us, and we'll kind of go from there. But really excited. Let's take a look at this draft class. So I actually was able to download 2 draft classes, and I think we're going to run with 2021 draft Big Red. It's one of the most updated and what I think is realistic draft classes. So let's take a look and see. I don't think we're going to have a chance to draft some of the people that the Browns were able to draft in real life. You know, we got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and a Greg Newsome in the first round. You know, some of those studs. But that being said, let's go ahead and scout them just in case. And then, you know, we know what we're kind of looking for. They got Jeremiah as a pass coverage middle linebacker here in this list. Kind of interesting. There were some other guys I really liked coming into the draft for the Browns. You know, like I said, we definitely are interested in cornerback 3. Somebody like Caleb Farley makes a lot of sense. Ifitu Melifonwu was somebody that I know the Browns really liked. I would love to look at him, and a guy like Eric Stokes out of Georgia might make a lot of sense as well. I'm going to leave his last spot here because I want to use up all of these points. I want to go ahead and take a look at defensive end as well. You know, we didn't end up going after anybody here in free agency, so you know, a Rashad Weaver maybe makes some sense in the 3rd round out of Pitt. Reminder, the Browns have I don't know why the picks are out of order like that, but they've got 26, 27 in the 2nd, 26 in the 3rd. Yeah, the picks are way out of order. I'm not even sure what in the world's going on. The most important one's that 1st rounder in the back of the 1st round. That was what the Browns actually had in real life. So let's go ahead and advance forward again. Check out stage 3. See if we can get anybody signed. Still no additional signings in the free agency, but we do have some 5th-year options. So let's take a look at those real quick. 5th-year option on Baker. I think we got to go ahead and give him the 5th-year option. It's pretty expensive, but he's a stud, and he's the kind of guy that we definitely want to take a look at long term. So we'll sign Baker to the 5th-year option. See if there's another one. I believe there is. It's probably for Ward. Yeah, there's the one for Ward. I think both of those guys are going to go ahead and get their 5th-year options picked up by the team, which I think is good. Really pivotal pieces for the Browns. Let's take a look at free agency one more time, see exactly where we stand on some of these contracts. Still nobody able to afford Olivier Vernon. Interesting. Malik, Patrick, Derek still sitting out there. I wonder Derek Wolfe's contract. I don't think Olivier would go for it, but let's go ahead and withdraw Wolfe since no one's in on Vernon. Let's give him what we have available and see if he'd be interested in this at all. 2 years at 4. That's significantly less than I think what he wants or what the market would give him, but something like that, yeah, 45. He's probably not going to be very thrilled with that, but hey, starting position on a contender, it's something you probably got to consider. Dante Hightower still sitting out there, 31 years old. Malik Hooker, Buckeye. Okay, let's take a look at some more scouting. Get ready for this NFL draft. The Browns have a couple spots in need. Having now signed a free agent wide receiver in Galladay, I think wide receiver's probably out of the mix for the Browns. Same with tight end. We could look at some late round offensive line prospects. But honestly, I think we continue to focus on some of this defensive end stuff. See if we can find anybody who makes a lot of sense late in any of these spots. Quincy Roche looks good. Aiden Hutchinson and Taron Jackson both look really good. Tyreek Smith is a Buckeye. He actually didn't even come out. He's still back at Ohio State. This isn't exactly the most accurate one that I've ever seen, but a lot of players that are realistic in here. I don't have enough points to do anybody else, but we do like Eric Stokes. Maybe we target cornerback and defensive line. That might be what we take a look at here. Olivier Vernon accepts the contract. That's good news. Bring back Olivier, and it looks like that's probably it for free agency. It doesn't look like Patrick Peterson or some of the other people we had offered are interested, so let's kind of keep it moving here. I want to scout a few more corners, see if we can find anybody late that makes a lot of sense. Sean Wade out of Ohio State might make a really good fit. He ended up going to the Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken. He ended up going somewhere pretty solid for him. He's gonna be a good fit for them. He was very questionable at OSU, but Pete Warner, a guy listed as a 7th rounder in here, but was a solid player at OSU for a long time. Played a lot of games. Would love to add somebody like him. We definitely are still interested in middle linebacker as well. Justin Hilliard had a great career at Ohio State. I know we can't fully scout him. He's a good guy. Chaz Surratt, Dylan Moses as well. Baron Browning as well listed. A lot of familiar names. Jamin Davis, I know, was getting a lot of talk. Zaven Collins and Nick Bolton as well. So yeah, lots of options at linebacker. I think we're gonna have a chance to bolster this roster quite a bit. So all right, let's dive into it. I'm ready for the NFL draft. Super excited. Let's take a look at the free agency recap here. A lot of guys went unsigned, I believe. Yeah, Patrick Peterson and Malik, neither of them wanted our lowballed contracts, so they'll continue to sit out there on the market. Zach Ertz doesn't get a contract. Might be somebody we look to bring in. I like Zach Ertz. I like our tight end room, but we'll see. Maybe we make a move, get David Njoku out of here, and add Ertz to the list. Will Lutz is still sitting out there for us to maybe take a look at as well. A lot of big names still here. Kalichi Osemele out there as well. Yeah, solid. Jared McCoy sitting out there as well. But my favorite part, always excited. Got to dive into the NFL draft. And first on the clock, I'll pause it and we'll kind of skip through this first round. And let's take a look at who gets picked. Trevor Lawrence goes 1 to the Jags. Zach Wilson goes 2 to the Jets. That's actually interesting. I feel like a lot of times it doesn't happen this way in Madden. The Dolphins take Penei Sewell. I know they traded out of that spot, but for where we are in this series, here we go. The Falcons take Micah Parsons. Weird they don't go Kyle Pitts at 4 like they did in real life. The Bengals ended up going Kyle Pitts. Solid. Unfortunate to have him coming into the AFC North against us. Jamar Chase going 6 to Philly. Rashawn Slater going to Detroit. Patrick Surtain goes 8th to the Panthers. He did not do that in real life. Interesting. Justin Fields going 9th to the Denver Broncos. My boy Kevin will be super excited about that in this alternate reality. J.C. Horn's going to Dallas. Christian Darrisaw to the Giants. Christian Barmore to the 49ers at 12. Trevon Merrick, really early for him. Our boy Owusu Koromoa goes 14. Probably where he should have been in real life. Greg Newsome goes 15. Oh no. Well, it means the Browns in real life had a solid draft if our two guys go top 15. Kwity Paye, 16 to the Cardinals. Jason Owe, 17 to the Raiders. Walker Little, wow, they go right tackle, left tackle, the Dolphins do, trying to give Tua some protection. Jalen Waddle slides all the way down to 19 for the Washington football team. And the Bears take Trey Lance at 20. So interesting. So interesting. I can't wait to see how this series progresses with some of these trades, or I guess some of these, trade in the standpoint of Fields in real life goes to the Bears. He goes, Trey Lance goes to the Bears in this series. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. Devonta Smith falls all the way to the Colts. That's bananas. Dylan Radunz, I don't even know who that is. North Dakota State right tackle to the Titans. Caleb Farley. Gosh, that was somebody we were going to probably take a look at here. Mac Jones to the Steelers. Oh boy. The Ben Roethlisberger replacement. We're about to tear him up. I can't wait. Asante Samuel Jr. goes to the Jags at 25. A lot of corner prospects off the board, unfortunately. Taking a look at the offers here as we come up to pick. I got to try to always remember it's the 2021 draft, because this one would have been enticing to go back a pick, but the years are wrong. I feel like Madden makes it tough on me to do that every year. Interesting. I would love to not drop out of the first round. That's kind of where I'm at with this particular pick. Yeah, no offers. A lot of solid offers here for capital in general, but I'm not ready to give up this first round pick. I think we need impact players like right now. So that Vikings one isn't bad, but some of those picks in future drafts are not exactly what I'm looking for. So let's take a look at our board. Let's take a look at who's available. Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Azeez Ojulari. A lot of options. Trevin Jenkins. Linebackers available. Jalen Phillips is available. Oh boy. Zaven Collins. Really liked him coming out of Tulsa. I think he might be early clubhouse leader for me in terms of interest. Okay, taking a look at this board, I'm really interested in the Jalen Phillips slot. I'm also really interested in Zaven Collins at this spot. Kind of a tough situation. I like some of the corners. I think we wait and pick up one of these guys with our second pick. So let's go ahead, and I really feel like there's a pretty substantial drop off. Even at right end, you got just Gregory Rousseau. Peyton Turner's solid. It's a freak at the combine, but I think we're gonna have to go with Zaven Collins. I feel like we'll be able to find ourselves some other options at end, even though I know we don't have anybody at the moment. We did bring back Olivier Vernon. Let's go ahead and take Zaven Collins at 26. Hidden development, 75 overall. Super excited about that pick. The Browns, I told you, needed help at the second level of this defense, and Zaven Collins is young, fast, exactly the kind of player you're looking for. 84 speed, 85 tackle, Overall, just kind of well-rounded, solid player. 75 in man coverage already is pretty solid as well. Zone coverage at 72. He's going to be a stud. Probably a 3-down linebacker for the Browns at some point here pretty soon. I'll sim through the rest of this first round, and then we'll take a look at where we are for round 2. Elijah Vera Tucker goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Rashad Bateman adding to an already loaded Saints wide receiver room. Jalen Phillips, 78 overall, would have been a great pick for us. I just felt like at this spot, I wasn't 100% sure on him. I wasn't sure if he was going to be a bust since he slid, so I went with the linebacker instead, which is more of a need for us. Azeez Ojulari goes as we wrap up the first round. Sam Cosmi from Texas, and Gregory Rousseau to the Chiefs. Okay, I'll fast forward to the Browns pick, speed up the draft process here a little bit, and I'll let you know when we get there in the second round. I know we didn't scout some of these guys, but Milton Williams is somebody I was really interested in. Tommy Togiai is somebody the Browns took in the 4th round in real life. He's interesting as well. We definitely need to make sure we go after defensive tackle at some point in this draft. I would really like to go after that position, but I think right now where we're sitting, I'm kind of interested in Melifonwu or Eric Stokes. These guys are second round grades. Melifonwu, a solid player. Stokes at 22, a man-to-man corner is a scheme fit. Malifonwu at 21 is a zone guy. I kind of like having Stokes, especially if he's going to play some slot, that B man coverage, B- play rec and press. Let's go ahead and go with Stokes here as our second pick for the Brownies. Hidden development, 74 overall, Eric Stokes. That's an awesome pick. I'm super excited for him. I'm not sure how many hidden devs there were in this particular draft class, but can't be mad about filling another need with another good young player. So let's advance forward, and I'll see you guys in the third round. Interesting, some solid players here. Josh Palmer, deep threat out of Tennessee, is intriguing. Milton Williams, and it is Zigwa? I have no idea. Odi Zigwa out of UCLA, defensive tackle. I think this might be a spot where we target defensive tackle. Demetric Felton is still on the board. Browns took him in the 7th in real life. That's actually pretty crazy. Michael Carter out of North Carolina is really interesting as well. I don't think we're going to address halfback in this particular draft. So let's take a look at this defensive tackle group. Togiai still out there. Jay Tufuele out of USC. Bobby Brown III was solid as well. I really do like the Milton Williams pick. I know he's not a scheme fit at this point, but he was somebody that was an absolute combine freak. I'd love to see if he makes a lot of sense here. Let's go ahead and take Milton Williams here in the 3rd. Make him a Cleveland Brown.
Bruh.
Whoa. It says we reached. I've never even heard that before. Did you guys hear that? It was like, doo-doo. A 53 overall, ranked 446. That is crazy. Not even real. Like, realistically, in real life, he was an absolute stud. I've never seen something like that happen before. Luckily, we get 2 picks in this round, so we get a chance to make up for it. But what? I've never seen that in all of my time playing Madden. All right, let's go Togiai, run fit. 4th round grade on him. There we go. That's what we wanted. Number 38 in true talent. 92 is where we actually grab him. That's so funny. Him and Milton Williams are so different. But Togiai is a stud. Really excited to add him to the team here as well. Let's skip ahead here to the 4th round. We are only a couple picks away. Browns are up here in the 5th. Dylan Moses has just left. Headed to the Houston Texans. Not really sure where to go as far as like roster need at this point of the draft. It's kind of an awkward spot in the draft. I'm actually really interested in Demetric Felton. I know the Browns are, he's somebody that the Browns actually did pick up in real life. We do have a 2nd, 4th rounder, so I feel like we could play around here with Felton. I also like the idea of adding Felton because he is a good fit if we do not keep Kareem Hunt. Oh my God, another one of those noises. He's a 310 or 370. We pick him at 101, and Demetric Felton falls all the way out. I've never even heard that noise before. It's so funny. I guess that's what happens when you don't scout. All right, let's skip ahead to the 27th pick in this round and see if we can do a little better. Not gonna lie, picking blind in this game is really hard. Not having scouted some of these players, it is tough work. Tough work. Okay, picking here at the back of this round. Really hard to fly blind and try to find any studs here. Quincy Roche is a 4th round grade. He's interesting. One of the only players on our board that we've actually had a chance to review. Shaka Toney as well. Solid player out of Penn State. Probably a lot of upside with Shaka. Aiden Hutchinson, a mid 4th out of Michigan. I can't even get it out right. Michigan. He makes a lot of sense as well as a fit behind our boy Olivier Vernon. Hidden dev, 69 overall, 109. We get him at 123. That's a solid pickup for us out of Aiden Hutchinson, especially not having a chance to take a look at any of his stats. 74 power moves, 69 rush, finesse moves. Actually pretty balanced here as far as his skill set. He's kind of solid overall. No real holes in his game, so that's it's a pretty good pickup. All right, let's fast forward to the 5th round. I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay, 5th round here, coming up. Slim pickings, I'm assuming, and throughout this rest of the draft, not a lot of names we recognize. Not a lot of holes in this team to fill anyway, which is good. But I'm gonna scroll through here and see who's left on the board and see if there's anybody that we know might be okay for us to add. Taron Jackson sitting there with a 5th round grade on him. We could maybe look at adding another corner. Benjamin St. Just, 6'3", 205, out of Minnesota. He's interesting from a body type. Bubba Bolden still out there. Damar Hamlin was a good player at Pitt. I'm scrolling here real quick just to see if we've got Anthony Schwartz. We do. The burner out of Auburn, who the Browns took in the 4th. He might be somebody I used my 6th-round pick on. Let's go ahead and take a look back at corner. I don't know if he's any good. I just like his, well, let's see here. So we also have Wild Goose. That's a cool name. Wild Goose out of Wisconsin. Tay Gowan out of Purdue. I know it's been sliding over and over again. Let's go with Wild Goose. This is a cool last name. Let's go ahead and try him. Oh boy. 60 overall. 331 in true talent. We get him at 153. Another reach. Really hard to fly blind. And no skills, no combine grades. Just really going off of random information on these picks. So I promise future drafts will be much, much better for us. Gowan was a 63 out of Purdue. So not like we would have done much, much better here. All right, well, that being said, I think probably depth offensive line makes sense. There's only one player with any kind of grade on him that's similar. I know we need a left tackle. We let Kendall Lamb go in free agency. Dante Smith, 57 overall. Not ideal. How's his ratings? 82 strength. Struggling in pass block. Struggling everywhere. May not make the roster. Difficult to draft. We only have one more pick left, so let's get on to the 7th round here. Please, let me find one person, one player, one to redeem ourselves here. We've had a couple good picks, but we've had a couple huge swings and misses as well. Okay, here in the 7th at pick 30, almost the final pick in the draft, we're going to go with Rakeem Boyd, who, if you don't know, is actually out of Last Chance U fame. I'm going to go ahead and take Rakeem Boyd. Not a bad pick. Pretty on par. He's 225. We got him at 222. He's a good story. Definitely cool to see Rakeem during the Last Chance U days, and excited to add him to the running back room. Not sure if he'll make the team, but we'll go ahead and take a look at it anyway. Let's take a look. Alex Smith retires after the draft. I've never seen that before, having a player retire during draft week, but Alex Smith says he's done. Says he's done. Let's take a look at this draft recap. Really interesting first round, especially to see what's going on. But here's our rookie class, led by Zaven Collins. We got him in the first. Our first 3-ish picks were solid. 74 out of Eric Stokes, 74 out of Tommy Togiai, with Aiden Hutchinson having hidden dev sneaking in there for us. And then a couple just absolute bomb picks, just guessing on players that I recognize their names. Not exactly the way we want to do it all the time. But let's take a look at the entire league as a whole. You know the usual names, Trevor and Zach, all going early. I'm curious to see who's the best player in this draft. They had Kyle Pitts rated number 1. Trevor Panay, Patrick Surtain. Look at Najee Harris. Went late 2nd to the Seahawks as a 79 overall. I like checking out all of that. Creed Humphrey as well. Late solid pickup for the Bills. That's a good draft pick for them. Kind of scrolling through here. Bateman, solid pick. We didn't need wide receiver at that moment, so it's kind of tough for us. Etienne, solid in the 2nd round. Same with Landon Richardson. Javon Holland, free safety out of Oregon, is a solid pick in the 3rd, mid-3rd as well. Ben Cleveland and Tyree Gillespie. Really solid guys here who got picked up late. On Wuzurike would have been a solid get for us with 75 overall. Would have loved to pick him up at D tackle. But we did get Togiai, who's a solid player at his position. Andre Sisco as well. Okay, let's take a look at preseason week 1. We'll make some adjustments to the roster, and that'll wrap up this first episode. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and taking a look at this team. I'll show you some of the roster additions here in a minute. Okay, taking a look at some of the free agent decisions we made. We've added a couple players just to round out the depth. I'm not going to read through all the names. You guys can take a look. We did bring back Malik Jackson on a 1-year deal for a veteran minimum kind of thing. We picked up Zane Gonzalez. as our kicker. Cut a few people to free up a little bit of space, but that's going to round out the actual roster itself for preseason week 1. I'll show you guys here where we are with the lineups as well. Just reordered the depth chart. Here's what we're looking at. Couple holes in the depth part of this roster, but top to bottom still really solid. Offseason highlighted by the addition of Kenny Golladay as wide receiver 2. Really excited to see what he can do. Got DPJ and Jalen Guyton backing them up. We'll see what happens in the receiver room. Zaven Collins kind of taking some of those snaps, fighting with Anthony Walker Jr. to see who's going to be middle linebacker 1. Eric Stokes down here, going to play a lot of slot corner. I would love to see him take over or at least push Greedy for cornerback 2 snaps. And, Malik Jackson, Tommy Togiai, kind of all in here with Andrew Billings when he gets healthy as sort of the 4 defensive tackles that kind of are playing a big role. And same with Olivier Vernon when he comes back. He'll be back here pretty soon for week 1. We'll put agent Aiden Hutchinson in there for a little bit as well to get him some snaps this preseason. Would love to get a more dynamic returner. Jarvis does a great job on punts, but kickoffs specifically, maybe it's DPJ again. Stokes has a little bit of return skill in him. He's going to be the starting slot coming out of here. Zaven is going to be our sub linebacker starting, which is also really good. I may move Hutchinson around because Adrian Claiborne isn't going to get a lot of those rushing situation snaps. But here we have it. There's the roster. There's the full offseason for week 1. I'll save the training and all of the stuff for the next episode. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, checking out this Browns franchise. This is going to be a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to this. And be sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications. Let me know what your favorite move of the offseason was. Let me know where you'd like to see me go next as far as with some of these roster decisions. Who should start, who shouldn't, that kind of thing. There's a couple position battles I'm really interested in taking a look at. And also tell me what you thought about some of the offseason moves I made. Adding a guy like Kenny Golladay, I think, was a big move for us. Picking up a couple of the Browns roster people that they added in real life, like an Anthony Walker and a Malik Jackson, I think are, interesting depth moves, but not necessarily splash things. But I'm looking forward to this roster and this particular season, but you guys got to let me know in the comments if you want more. Like I said, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I'll let you know when episode 2 is dropping. Otherwise, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I will holler at you guys in the next one.